is a sufferer. So recently, in the contract with Jake Paul, which had everything in it but the kitchen sink, but he refused point blank to sign up to the drug testing people's ADA. Now, to me, that's very naughty, because we're meant to be in a high-profile fight. What's going out being beamed all over the world.
You know, he keeps talking about me with the cocaine thing. I said, let's do drug tests. You can drug test me for the next 10 years for cocaine, and for the next 2 years, I can drug test you for performance-enhancing drugs. And he never really responded. He said, how about you test all your fighters?
Right.
The Warlock should have told him,
Right.
we test all our fighters. Our guys are tested by USADA, the toughest drug testing policy in all of sports we have. And, you know, he started saying, oh, I've been over here, look at me, I'm fat, and I don't care how long it was ago that you fought. USADA drug test you and you took drugs, they're going to catch.
Jake Paul has just failed a drug test, and the boxing world is losing its mind. Chaos everywhere. Fans are outraged, headlines exploding, and suddenly, Jake's entire legacy is dangling by a thread. Just days before the biggest fight of his career, controversy hits like a thunderbolt. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis stands calm and unshaken, clean, composed, and ready to make Jake pay the price when the bell rings.
Internet just exposed Jake Paul because while he was eating some pizza, his manager came up behind him and secretly handed him something that nobody could see. And at first, Jake didn't do anything, just continuing to eat. But after he was done, he casually raised his hand to his mouth and put—
Now Jake's out here, fighting a different kind of battle, defending himself like a man backed into a corner. He's talking about random tests, commissions, and haters, the usual PR spin. But this time, the clock's ticking, and the timing couldn't be worse. When your name's blowing up for all the wrong reasons, words lose their punch. Across the gym, Gervonta's camp stays silent, laser-focused. No distractions, no noise, just the scent of opportunity. They can smell blood in the water.
You also went through VADA testing this camp. Now that I saw you posted something on
Not
social
this
media.
camp. He's gone through full VADA testing multiple times,
How does
right?
it-
Tommy
how
Fury,
many
Nate
times do
Diaz,
they-
this fight.
Yeah. How many times do they typically test you when they put you through the ringer like that?
Yeah, it's random, and they can come 2-3 days in a row sometimes, and just as much as they want whenever they want. So people just always love to make rumors up about me, but I do drug testing, the commission drug testing right before the fight.
And that's when Eddie Hearn steps in, tossing gasoline onto an already blazing fire. His words hit hard, laced with pure frustration. He's had enough of the drama, enough of Jake's circus overshadowing the sport he loves. This isn't playful banter anymore, it's personal. When a promoter like Eddie Hearn loses his cool, you know something's seriously off. Meanwhile, Gervonta's camp says nothing. No rants, no noise. Just quiet focus, letting discipline and danger do the talking.
I said, did you or did you not say, I'll have someone pull up on you in New York? And he went, yes, I did. He said, but you didn't say, F off. I said, yes, I did. Because I wouldn't know what else to say. At that point, you're all in. You can't.
Chris Eubank Jr. summed it up perfectly. There's no 50-50 split when you fail a test. This game runs on integrity, not influence. Boxing's foundation is fairness, not fame. Jake wanted equal footing, but respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn. Meanwhile, Gervonta's out there showing what that really looks like. Through discipline, relentless work, and a warrior's mindset that doesn't waver no matter the noise.
When you fail a drugs test, you don't get 50-50 split.
No. No matter commercial power pulling, no.
You don't get 50-50 split if you fail.
And then comes Johnny Nelson, the voice of reason cutting through all the noise. He drops a truth bomb the sport's been avoiding. Boxing needs a real reset. Nelson isn't just talking about Jake. He's speaking for every fighter who bleeds for this craft. Doping, corruption, shortcuts. They're eating away at boxing's very soul. He's calling for change, and he's right. Gervonta stands as one of the last symbols of purity in the game. Raw talent, clean hands, and the relentless will to conquer without ever crossing the line.
From a ex-fighter's point of view, I love our sport. I love the fighters benefiting financially from our sport as something they love. There needs to be a turn. There needs to be a change where this can't happen. You know, where the board get and say, look, everybody, involved. You're all on a band. That something needs to be done because it's probably a lot more.
Johnny Nelson's tone says it all: confusion, disbelief, and pure disappointment. The questions are already coming, and they should be. Boxing can't afford blurred lines or shady cover-ups anymore. Jake's reputation is hanging by a thread, and no amount of talk about past tests will fix that overnight. Meanwhile, Gervonta stays locked in. No scandals, no noise, just razor-sharp focus and destruction on his mind.
There is going to be there needs to be an inquiry straight after this. Why? What? But that's what I'm hearing. This news is as fresh to me as it is you. I'm quite sure when this goes out, it'll be all over the place anyway. But all I can say is he passed the UK one, that he didn't fail on that one.
Honestly, Duke McKenzie couldn't have said it better. Jake Paul failing a drug test isn't just a slip-up. It's a public humiliation. He hasn't only let himself down. He's disrespected everyone who loves this sport, even his own family. Think about it. Months of build-up, training, and hype for a mega fight, all gone in a flash because of sheer recklessness. His fans, his team, even his father are left shaking their heads, while Jake acts like the rules don't apply to him. This isn't confidence, it's self-sabotage in full view. He might still be trending online, but in the boxing world, his credibility is collapsing fast. Jake Paul has turned his own spotlight into a circus of shame.
It's just wrong, in my book. But you know what? I also think that, what he's done, it's like a slap in the face for his dad.
And the voices of boxing legends only make Jake's misstep look even worse. Spencer Oliver and Simon Jordan are blunt, no second chances. Jake Paul didn't just fail a test. He flaunted his sense of entitlement, expecting leniency. That mindset is toxic for the sport. Fans and fighters are watching, learning the wrong lesson. Cheat, and maybe you get away with it. His antics are eating away at trust in boxing and forcing promoters to rethink every deal tied to him. Sure, his circus-style stunts grab clicks, but they come at the cost of credibility, respect, and a lasting legacy. Right before our eyes, Jake has become a cautionary tale, a living reminder that arrogance and irresponsibility can topple everything you've built in an instant.
And I've always been strong on that. I've always been strong on the fact that I don't believe in giving them a second chance.
You're basically saying, no 3 strikes and you're out.
No 3 strikes
and you're out.
No.
One, you fail a test and gone ski.
Absolutely, because I just believe then that moving forward, people would think twice about doing it. If they think,
Frank Warren isn't holding back. He calls us a non-runner, and he's not wrong. Jake Paul's hype collapsed the moment he failed to meet even the basic requirements to make the fight real. Lawsuits, regulatory boards, promoters scrambling. The chaos is everywhere. This is what happens when circus antics collide with professional sport. Drug tests aren't a joke, yet Jake treated them as if they were, undermining everyone involved. Fans were promised a mega fight, but all they got was disorder. What Jake calls branding is really just reckless behavior that tarnishes boxing's reputation. His fleeting fame comes at the steep price of long-term credibility.
Let the penny drop that the fight could never go forward. And some of the stuff that's come out since about people being, the board being sued and something, and so forth, is just a non-runner.
Stephen A. Smith hits on a point that every boxing fan should feel deep down. Fairness matters. And right now, Jake Paul is doing everything he can to cheat the system, not inside the ring, but by flaunting incompetence and controversy outside it. He talks about power and skill, yet ignores the most basic rules, chipping away at the sport's integrity. Fans aren't getting a real contest. They're watching a spectacle built for social media clicks, not true competition. Every failed drug test, every stunt, every excuse strips away his credibility, making it impossible to take him seriously as a fighter. The hype around Jake's mega fights only deepens the letdown when it's clear he can't compete at a legitimate level. In short, power means nothing without integrity. And right now, Jake Paul is failing at both.
Powerful individual who can get exposed by a boxer because every shot he throws, he's trying to make it a power shot. But
Adam Boo's breakdown hits a hard truth that Jake Paul would rather ignore. If a fighter can't bring real power, speed, or strategy into the ring. Height means nothing. And let's be honest, Jake's size or flashy confidence counts for nothing when his fundamentals crumble under pressure. Real pros like Ben stay composed, fight through adversity, and earn respect. Jake's performances show he's chasing social media clout instead of mastering the craft. Throwing punches without precision or impact isn't skill, it's a joke. Fans buy into the spectacle, mistaking massive followings for talent. But every missed punch, every stumble, every fake bravado proves he's out of his depth. This isn't learning or growth, it's plain embarrassment. He's cashing in on fame while real fighters prove their craft. And the boxing world watches, shaking their heads, as Jake Paul pretends to compete while every move screams the opposite.
Working. Yeah. He was throwing a lot of shots, but nothing had any real power or snap because he didn't have it in him. And so he couldn't force his size advantage on Ben.
And if you thought things couldn't get worse, Duke McKenzie's take on Jake's license will shock you. He isn't holding back, and no one should when discussing this fiasco. Handing back your license isn't humility. It's a plain admission of guilt. Let's be honest. Jake has tried to spin it as contamination or bad luck. But the truth, he's been caught twice. Once might be careless, twice is negligence. The British Boxing Board of Control is one of the world's most respected governing bodies, and their patience has limits. Returning the license is basically a public confession that he can't be trusted to follow rules or respect the sport. The arrogance to think social media fame shields him from accountability is staggering. While real fighters dedicate themselves to technique, fitness, and integrity, Jake leans on hype, stunts, and excuses, undermining everyone who takes the craft seriously. This isn't just a personal failure. It's a warning to the entire boxing world. Integrity matters more than clout, and Jake has now put both his career and reputation on the line for everyone to see.
He's done. Now, the fact that he's given back his licence to the British Boxing Board of Control, who in my opinion are the best governing body in the world, bar none, it's kind of like a proof of admission, certainly. And for him to do what he's done, you know, they're talking about contamination, right? So if you've done it once, then you got caught out, then you do it again. It can't be contamination, can it? Because he's been caught twice for doing the same thing. So, if it was me...
By now, it's painfully clear. Jake Paul's antics have crossed the line from hype into outright humiliation. Failed drug tests, public admissions of guilt, and blatant disregard for boxing's rules have turned what should have been a mega fight into a circus of embarrassment. Legends, promoters, and fans are all shaking their heads, questioning not just his skill, but his integrity. The message couldn't be louder. No matter how massive your social media following, disrespecting the sport always carries consequences. So here's the question for you. Does Jake Paul deserve a second chance? Or is this the final nail in his boxing credibility? Share your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you stand for real boxing over clout, and hit subscribe for all the latest updates, breakdowns, and uncensored takes. Don't miss a moment. The fallout from this scandal is only getting messier, and you'll want to be front and center for every shocking twist.